and welcome to my journey. This is another What I Eat in a Day video after gastric bypass surgery. You know, I told you yesterday I was going to start doing them every day to help stay accountable to what I eat. Had my nutritionist visit today, and I wanted to go ahead. I just got home. Put my gown on because it's cold and I don't plan on going back out. It's wet and I just feel like staying in the house with my gown tail, as my mama would say, with my gown tail on. My cute little snowman. But I wanted to go ahead. You're not seeing this, and I'm not actually going to put it up until tonight after I've eaten, my whole day's worth of food. But I want to go ahead and try to give you how my visit went while it's still fresh on my mind. And it's probably going to come to me in bits and pieces because, when you get so much information, it's just like, and it'll just like kind of come out. That's probably what's going to happen today. But I was so happy to see her. I told her, I said, I'm so happy to see you. I said, I've been waiting to see you. Well, she had some questions she wanted to go over first before we got into, my questions and concerns. And okay, so what did you have for breakfast this morning? I said, well, I didn't actually have breakfast yet because I timed drinking my coffee wrong, so I didn't have time to eat it before I came here. But I told her what it was. I said, I meal prep and I plan everything I eat. So, I told her, here's breakfast. And I looked it up on my healthy app and told her, what the ingredients were. So she knew that. Told her what lunch was. Told her what dinner was last night. Because I couldn't remember what it was supposed to be tonight, which she didn't ask. But she's like, what's your dinners like? So I told her, how I make. I said, with the exception of this past week, up until this past week, I have followed the rules religiously. I have followed that paperwork in and out. This past week was just crazy. It was a different week. I told her, how I snacked and how I ate like every hour and all this and that. And I said, I don't track. I said, I did there for a long time religiously. And that's another thing. When I bring my videos to you, I track because I want to give you my totals at the end of the video, my calories and my carbs and my protein. So I have to track to get that. She's the one I met with in the first time. She's the one who approved me for surgery as far as that aspect of it goes. And she said back then she said she don't want you living your life having to track food. But while we're getting used to it, now, she's like, it's a good idea. As long as you make sure you're getting your protein. Really what she wants me to track is my fluid. Because that's one of the areas where I'm slacking. And it's not just water. Which I know it hadn't been because they told us, but I specifically asked again, any fluid. She said, any fluid, just not juices, sugary fluids, none of that. Coffee, that counts as my fluid. Water, tea, all these things. Let me show you. Now I'm drinking my coffee because that's what we do when we talk. We have coffee. My new little cup. But look, are you ready to feast your eyes? She said, I don't even know how the subject came up about something. I said, I miss my fountain Pepsi so bad. She said, well, you can have one. She said, just not sugary. She said, just make sure it doesn't, upset your tummy or whatever. That's part of getting your fluids in. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, I have wanted one of these. I have not touched a fountain drink, a diet drink, a carbonated drink of any kind. I just call them drinks. I have not touched a drink since before surgery. I had my surgery on October the 4th. So, as soon as I left her office, I stopped by the QT. I got the small one, so I did good. I wasn't going to overdo it, my first day out. But it tasted so good on the way home. I didn't ask her about the straw, but I think the straw at this point in time is good. I think it's okay. I'm not hurting myself with it, you know. So I'm setting that over there for during the day. I'm going to work on that. Oh my gosh, I'm beyond thrilled to get a drink. So anyway, that's one of the things I have to work on, getting in my fluid. She said some of these times, she told me, she said, your hunger is a mystery. She said, that's just a mystery. And why you're not feeling full. But she said she's going to talk with her other dietitians, and she said if they come up with anything, if any of them has any other ideas, anything they've come across, she'll call me or she'll email me or she'll let me know if she has any further information to add to what we talked about today. It was a really good visit today, really good visit. So I'm supposed to start tracking my fluids to make sure I get in my 64 ounces of fluid a day. The other thing I need to work on is, now I followed y'all know, and I told her, I said I follow the 30-30 rule. The one in between is the one I have a hard time with. I said I don't eat slow. I don't chew my food. I said I wait. After I drink, I wait a half hour before I eat, and I do. After I eat, I wait a half hour before I drink, and I do. But that 30 minutes in between, I don't take, and I've told y'all before, I can't figure out how to make a quarter cup of food, 3/4 cup of food, last for 30 minutes. She said, I really want you to work on that. She said, I really want you to work on taking that full 30 minutes, taking dime-sized bites, which I have trouble with that. I'm just wolfing my food down. She said, and chewing it really, really good. She goes, and obviously not drinking, because that can lead to washing your food down and you're not absorbing any minerals, nutrients, whatever it is, all the stuff that you absorb, and you're not getting a feeling of you had like fullness of food, I guess. So that's the other thing I've got to work on. I've got to work on my eating for 30 minutes, chewing it, small bites. That's going to be hard. I told her, I said, it's going to be hard. The other thing is, and she asked me, she put her cups out there. She goes, here's a cup, here's 3/4 a cup, here's half a cup, here's a quarter cup. She says, how much food do you think you're eating? I said, I know what I'm eating 3/4 cup of food, and then I'm going to have like last night, I had a couple tablespoons of green beans and rice on the side. I said, and the rice, those things are not typical. I don't typically have those. I said this past week was the exception. I said I have been textbook up until this past week. And she said, I said something about eating that quarter cup, that 3/4 cup of food. She said, well, you can have a cup. I'm like, what? I can have a cup of food? And she's like, yes. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have been, this is what I have concluded, having had this discussion with her today. I've been too rigid. I've been too, I don't want to say too strict with myself, but I kind of have. I have gone by the paperwork. I have taken it for its word, what it says, without any, there's been no guidance. This is the first guidance I've had since going on regular food. So I've been doing it on my own for a month, right? And now I had this appointment, and we're backtracking. We're looking back at what I've been doing. And I guess maybe it took that month to get to this point to where I can have that much food. I don't know. But I can have that cup of food. But here's the thing. I was thinking, okay, you've had your, what I was doing, 3/4 cup of food. You've had your amount of food. You're done. You cannot have anything else to eat. That is so wrong. She said, as long as you are meeting your protein goals, if you are hungry, go for the non-starchy vegetables. She said, and I asked her specifically, I said, okay, so last night when I ate my little turkey steak, hamburger steak, whatever, I had my little green beans on the side, and then I had my little rice. I said, if I was still hungry, I should have gone back for more green beans. She said, absolutely. I said, well, like, how much? How much more can you eat? You know? She goes, well, she said, they don't add hardly any calories. She said, don't stuff them. She said, kind of eat them slow. She said, but eat until you feel full. She said, you can have, and she named off all these, vegetables. She goes, and salad. I said, salad? Did you say I could have salad? I told you in my pre-op, I said, I'll probably never eat another salad because I ate so many that one week. I had salad every day. But that was my prep, and it was easy, and it worked, She said, yes. She said, if you can tolerate it, you can have salad. I said, how much salad? She goes, well, there again. She said, it's really hard to say. She said, but maybe a cup and a half. Just chop it real small. So I said, so you're telling me after I ate what I ate last night, if I was still hungry, I can make myself a small salad? She goes, yes. I said, what about the dressing? Does it need to follow the carb rules that was on the paper? She goes, just whatever you're dressing, just like a tablespoon. So I can have salad. I can eat. After I eat, I can eat more. I asked her, I said, and I told her, I said, the thing about this surgery that is the tool that is working with me the most is the fear of dumping. I said, I'm afraid. I'm so afraid of dumping. I'm guessing the dumping is going to come from, which I'm surprised I hadn't done it already, from as fast as I eat and I don't chew my food properly. It's a wonder I hadn't. I told you yesterday I can kind of get a spot where it feels like, kind of a little pressure, but it don't mean I can't still eat. So the fact that I can eat as long as I'm getting, she pounded it, protein first. I told you that's what they pound in, protein first. And I said, and I make sure I have my protein. She said, are you drinking protein shakes? I said, not until yesterday. I hadn't had one in weeks. I said, because I try to get my protein in with food instead of through a drink. I said, but I knew yesterday, missing breakfast, I had to have a drink or I was not going to hit my goal. I said, but those drinks do nothing for me. I said, they do not satisfy me. They don't hold me. They're just a form of getting in the protein. And so she was asking about that, and she said the protein snacks, the cookies, she said 90 calories. She said, that's not bad. Like if I get up in the mornings and I have to go from 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock, it's not bad for me to have one of those. It's not bad for me to have one of those. And it's not bad for me to have those Quest protein chips on occasion either. She said her clients have told her that Atkins makes a protein chip that they say is better than Quest. So after I eat the Quest, I will be on lookout for the Atkins chips. Yes, I will. I eat maybe a bag a week. That's it. But sometimes you want that little crunchy, salty, flavory thing, so that's okay. The other thing I have to work on is getting some movement in. She said, at least try with my upper body. She said, I know with your legs, that's kind of, and I told her, I said, I tried the Y. I said, but I come out, my knee was so swollen up, I couldn't walk for 2 days. I had to give it up. I just couldn't do it. She said, try to get back into doing, things with my upper body. I said, okay, I'm going to try that. I'm really going to try that. And she told me, because I told you she's the one that approved me, and she's got a good memory. She said, now I know you, looking at when you walked in, she immediately saw because I wore the same dress I wore yesterday, which that'll probably be my uniform until I quit getting my leg wrap, just because it's so bulky. I don't want to pull the pants on over and tear the tape and whatnot off and rip the dressing off. So she was like, oh, what's going on with that? I told her, it's lymphedema and everything. And she said, well, I can tell looking from your legs when you come in that they're swollen, which to me, they just look big. So I guess to an outsider, they look swollen. But this is what she told me. I told her, I said, well, she said first before I said it, she goes, when we were talking about the weight loss, I've lost on their scales, 12 or 13 pounds since surgery. And I told her, about the 29 pounds pre-op. Yes, I'm bringing it up again because that was a feat, a feat that I tackled. And she put that in her notes. She said, I want to get this in your notes. She said, and she said it again. They say it every time. She goes, that will cause a slower weight loss after surgery. So that made me feel better. She said, with that swelling in your legs, she said, it's going to be hard for you to tell what you have as far as losing and gaining weight because of that swelling in your legs. So she what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for. She backed up what we all think. There's a word for that. That could have something to do with it all. To me, they don't look swollen, but I'm guessing they are. But she said, now I can tell you've lost because all in through here and all in through here, you're smaller than when I met you. I'm like, I am. I said, and my clothes, they're loose. She said, you have to focus on that. She said, don't just focus on the scale, especially with what you've got going on in your legs. She said, you focus on those non-scale victories. I said, that's right, those all-important NSVs. She said, yes. She said, that's what you focus on, how your clothes are fitting and, how you feel and how you look. And I said, I don't understand how that happens. She says, it's crazy. It really is. She said, but sometimes the fat on your body just redistributes, moves, goes here and there. So we got that in there. And she gave me a little handout. I hadn't had time to look at it because I come straight in here to talk to y'all about common mistakes from having after you have your surgery. So I'll read through that and see what it is. But those are the things that I need to focus on. Tracking my fluids, making sure I get enough fluid, that 30 minutes of eating, making sure that I'm eating slow, I'm taking small bites, I'm chewing thoroughly, and then some exercises. Also, I can have more food. Oh, she did say this. She said, when do you see the surgeon? And I see him next month. That's my 3-month checkup with the surgeon. She goes, if you're doing all these things that we talked about today, you're doing them, and you're doing them. If you can eat 2 cups of food and you're still not feeling full, she said, you've got to talk to the surgeon about that because that is something he will need to address. Hey, hold on. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, I had to talk to my squeeze. He been out running errands. I had to go back and look at the video because I couldn't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about if I can still eat 2 cups of food and I'm not feeling full and I'm still hungry, then I need to talk to the surgeon about it. And that's next month. That'll be my 3-month visit. She said that'd be something he needs to know about. So I am thrilled beyond thrilled to know that I can eat more food. And I asked her, I said, and I'm scared. I said, I've been scared that my stomach's going to stretch. She goes, don't be. She goes, it's a muscle, so it's going to stretch because that's what muscles do. She said, but it will never go back to the size it was. She said, you do not have to worry about that. So these are things I've been scared of my stomach stretching. I've been scared of dumping. I've been scared of eating more than my portion that I'm supposed to eat. I've been scared of all these things, and I think I've taken it too rigidly. And so I'm excited to know that I can have more food now if I'm hungry. So I'm going to make sure to have some salad and some cucumbers and things on hand, even cans of green beans, if I'm hungry, to add to what I just ate. So I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. I feel like it was a good visit. I feel like I am going to get myself back on track. I feel like it's going to help drinking my fluids, making sure I got enough liquids in me. And because I have slacked off on that. I was doing so good on that. I was doing so good on that before surgery. And then after surgery, it just kind of went you know. So I'm going to get me some kind of little, I'm going to see if I have some kind of notebook. That was sarcastic. And like write down, keep it in there and write down, like when I drink coffee, I know how many ounces that is. And, you know, when I drink a full thing of water, I know how many ounces that is and whatnot. So that is, I think, pretty much it in a nutshell. I think the visit today was tremendously helpful, and I feel very confident. Oh, and I did tell her, I said I had to quit the Facebook group because I was comparing. She said, I commend you for knowing when to step away. I said, yes. So there you go. All right. That is what we did today. I feel good about it. And what you'll see coming up is what I'm eating today. I didn't have any breakfast because I had another morning where I didn't gauge my coffee right, and I had to get on to the doctor. Time slipped up on me, so I didn't get time to eat. So I'm just going to finish my coffee, finish my fountain drink, and then just eat lunch. Yeah, it's close enough. I think I'll do fine. So that's all I know about the nutritionist. We'll just get on into what I eat today. For lunch, since I didn't have breakfast, I'm having my little small plate for reference there. My salmon loaf is my last one of those. I have vinegar, rice vinegar, and sugar-free ketchup. And I'm excited today. I'm going to have some cucumbers. That is a half a cup of cucumbers and a tablespoon of creamy French dressing. And I'm excited to eat this lunch. It has been a while since I've had lunch, and I'm hungry, and it's going to be a while for supper time. So I'm going to have a bag of these Quest protein chips, and here are the stats here: 140 calories, 5 carbs, and 19 proteins. So that's good for a snack, and then I'm going to have a cheese stick to go with it. For this cabbage casserole, the first thing you want to do is have some rice cooked. You're going to need 2 cups of cooked rice. And I fell asleep on the chair, so I didn't get to make regular rice. So I'm making some instant brown rice. That's what's over there finishing now. So then we want to cook our cabbage. It calls for a small cabbage. And if you saw my grocery haul, you see what size cabbage they picked out for me because I requested a small one. Boy, I got it. So I'm hoping this is going to be enough. I've never made this recipe before, so I don't know. But it says coarsely chopped. So I'm going to interpret that as this. To me, that looks coarsely chopped. So I'm going to cut up this whole cabbage. We're going to put it into a pot of boiling water for 8 minutes, drain it, and set it aside, and then we'll go on to our next step. Now this next step is we're going to cook our hamburger. I got my pan on too high, as usual. So I just need a pound, if I can get a hold of it, of hamburger. I guess you could use turkey if you wanted to. This is the 93% lean. I'm going to season it with some house seasoning. This is my step because I believe in seasoning your meat. And then I'm going to add 1 large chopped onion. And I had to chop one to get enough. I didn't have enough in the fridge, so I just chopped the whole one. And then we're just going to cook this until it's done. Now that the hamburger and onions are done, we're going to add our rice. So it's 2 cups of cooked rice. And if you don't want to take the time to cook rice on the day you're going to make this casserole, it would be a great way to use leftover rice or to make planned leftovers. So the next time you make rice, plan to have 2 cups left over. And then a half a cup of ketchup, and I'm just using regular. because I had more of it than I did sugar-free. So feel free to use sugar-free ketchup. Then a teaspoon of lemon juice. A teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of accent, which is this right here. And I'm surprised it's MSG, but it's got 60% less sodium than salt. I never knew that about accent, but it called for it, and I'm going to use it. And then a half a teaspoon of paprika. And we just want to stir this around. Now that meat's all mixed together, and what I have here is a 9 by 13 inch baking dish that I sprayed, and we're going to spread our cabbage in the bottom. And it looks like that little small cabbage is going to be enough. I'm thinking any bigger, it might have been too much cabbage. So, oops, I'm sorry, didn't mean to hit that. So I would go for the small one like I had, or half of a medium, just enough to where you can cover the bottom of your baking dish. And then on top of that, we spread our meat mixture. And this makes a big casserole. I could have cut it in half. And now that I'm looking at it, I definitely should have. We're going to have leftovers for days. Then on top of this, we're going to sprinkle 1 cup, I keep hitting that, I'm sorry, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. We will cover this with foam and bake it at 350 for 1 hour. It's been an hour, and how good does that look? Now, I've estimated that it makes 8 servings. So I want to see how close that is to my 1 cup portion. Well, I'd say that's pretty doggone close. Okay. So there it is. There is our cabbage casserole. I'm going to let this cool and give it a little taste. Well, that is a good little casserole. Nice and homey. So, I think it was a success. Okay, there you have it. Cabbage casserole.